This is the most popular Razer gaming mouse on Amazon right now. It's the Razer Viper Mini, and it's right up there with the G502, the G305, and Razer's own Death Adder Classic. It's an absolute cult classic, a crowd favorite, and r/mouse reviews a favorite mouse to complain about. Why? Because it's been 3 damn years already, and Razer still has not released a wireless version in spite of its popularity. They keep saying that it's in production, it's in development, but till now, just like me with my homework, they've been procrastinating and delaying it, and it's still not up. Now, to put it into perspective how unfair the treatment to the Viper Mini has been by Razer, this negligent parent, the Razer Viper, the bigger brother to the Viper Mini, has seen 3 full updates with massive technological improvements in the same time that this has been Razer's Amazon best-selling mouse. The Viper has become the V2 Pro, the Ultimate, and the 8K, all in the same time that the Viper Mini has been around. Because of that, these days the Mini is one of the cheapest gaming mice out there that you can buy from a well-known, reputable brand like Razer. So the question is it still worth it in 2022? The Razer Viper shape doesn't really need an introduction, especially the Mini, which is just a teeny tiny version of the Viper. And it's really just built for people with small hands to palm grip, or for people with medium-sized hands to aggressively claw grip, which is kind of why it's really popular. For claw grippers, this is one of the most favorite shapes out there. It's also an ambidextrous shape, although it does not have an ambidextrous button layout. So if you are a left-hander and you use thumb buttons, you've got to look elsewhere. Now, this Viper Mini is too small for me. Even with my most aggressive claw grips, it feels extremely uncomfortable. But I think for people with about 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters shorter hands than mine, you're gonna have a great time with this gaming mouse. The mouse has a matte and slippery black plastic body that honestly I'm not the biggest fan of, especially if you have sweaty palms or wet hands. And it doesn't come with any grip tape or rubber grips like the newest gaming mice that are higher end from Razer. So if you want to add extra grip, you have to go and buy it yourself. Maybe that's why it's also so heavy at 74 grams and also has a cable, so you don't accidentally fling it to Mars when you are gaming, which is a good thing, because if you accidentally reach Mars before Elon Musk, he will get angry and then he will ban you on Twitter. As for the build quality of this gaming mouse, it's kind of all over the place. I don't really know how to feel about it. I mean, it's well built, it feels sturdy, it's got no creaks, but at the same time, my unit had a whole body panel that was coming off. Like, it feels good and sturdy in the hand, except for the fact that my unit was shipped to me slightly broken. But whatever it is, it just means that the build quality and QC on here still needs to be worked on a little bit more. As are the clicks. Now, these are very stiff and very tough. They are consistent throughout the range, which is nice, but I really don't like the clicks on here. They're just too stiff for me to enjoy. My guess is that they made it extra stiff because it's a small mouse, which means people are gonna aggressively claw it. And if you have an aggressive claw grip with your fingers very steeply angled and pressing down like this, you're going to be applying a lot of force on your clicks. If the clicks were very light, you're going to accidentally have a lot of misclicks. The thumb buttons are also good enough. They are slightly loose and wriggly, but I have no complaints about them whatsoever. Very crisp, very sharp. Scroll wheel is also basically the same as my Viper Ultimate and feels about right, as are the feet, which are PTFE and glide smooth enough on the QCK. I know the QCK is a control pad, not a speed pad, but I like it that way. Don't come after me, okay? This leads me on to the sensor. Now in here, it's a 8K DPI 3359, which is a slightly older and slightly lower end sensor at this point in time. But truthfully, it's more than excellent enough for basically anyone. Sure, the DPI range is lower, but who cares? Since mouse sensors really haven't improved all that much, it remains there in the more than enough category. Also, the cable is braided. I forgot to mention that. It's quite a loose braid, so it's still very, very flexible, which is nice. And it doesn't feel like it's dragging too much across the mouse pad. And finally, software. Well, the Viper Mini is a Razer mouse, which means Razer's Synapse software is kind of compulsory here if you want to set up the DPI and the different buttons. I'd rather not have to use it, but it's fine enough. Synapse is a reasonably okay software these days. So then, is the Razer Viper Mini still the best cheap mouse in 2022? And is it the best choice? There are many options these days around the price of the Razer Viper Mini. I saw the Rocket Burst Pro go for a similar price, though slightly more expensive. But the Burst Pro is lighter, it has better clicks, and also is a similarly sized and shaped mouse, so should work for the same kind of people that might be looking at a Viper Mini. And if you need a bigger mouse at a similar price, you can also look at things like the Logitech G102, which is getting long in the tooth these days, but still is very good, still has some of the crispest clicks around, and is a bigger choice for people with bigger hands and still want to kind of claw grip their mouse. There are also many other alternatives in a similar price bracket to the Viper Mini that have higher end specs, fancier shapes and all that stuff, but generally are for more unknown brands, which might be more troublesome to get your hands on and also might be more problematic to get support if it is broken and you need fixing. That's not to say the Viper Mini is bad in comparison to those. It just means that you have more options and that this isn't necessarily the best choice for everyone who wants a small budget wired gaming mouse like it was in 2019. But the truth is, in spite of this increased competition, the Viper Mini is still an excellent choice, one of the best options out there for a cheap claw grip gaming mouse. It won't stand out as much as it did when it first came out, but it's still one that you should heavily consider if you're looking for a mouse in its size and price range. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I did a poll recently and everybody wanted me to do more gaming PC stuff, so that's what I'm going to shift my focus back on. So there's going to be a few more phone reviews, which I hope you support, but don't worry, a lot of gaming content will still be here, so subscribe for that.